All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'll call to order the Pierce County Council Tuesday study session for June 11th, 2024. We have council members Krueger, Hitchen, Morrell, Campbell, Herrera, and Denson present. All others are excused. With that, we'll move on to review of today's council meeting agenda. Ms. Long.
All right. Oops. Thank you. And good afternoon. This is this afternoon's regular council meeting agenda. It is amended. Now, we did review the consent agenda yesterday in study session. So I won't go over everything, but I'll just point out two things that we did talk about. So the final hearing date on proposal R 2024-173, which is the PASTA funding recommendations, does show up now as June 25th. And under grant applications, you'll see the grants are without the note pending approval at Monday study session. So let's go to section 7, proclamations, recognitions, awards, and presentations. First up is the proclamation proclaiming June 2024 as Pet and Service Animal Appreciation Month in Pierce County, and that was requested by Councilmember Denson. And you'll note that this is the first one. So we flipped the order on those. The second proclamation is proclaiming June 11th as a Women Veterans Recognition Day in Pierce County, and that was requested by Councilmember Herrera. There are no resolutions on this agenda, and there is just one ordinance, that is O 2024-523S, and this is amending section 448.020 of the code. This is related to special revenue funds. This received a due pass as substituted recommendation at Health and Human Services on June 4th. And those are your agenda items for this afternoon's meeting.
So pretty much pair resolution or pair proclamations in one proposal. And council members Denson and Herrera want to make sure you have all your people lined up for today.
People and canines.
People and paws. Okay.
Thought about bringing my dog and it just.
Oh, Dexter.
My dog would not do well. All right. All right, then that's all that we have. Any questions or comments on today's? Thank you. Hopefully it'll be, well, just as long as we make it. External boards and commissions, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. So just one item to report relative to the Puget Sound Regional Council. That's the Transportation Policy Board. They meet this Thursday, June 13th at 9:30. A couple items on their agenda that I think would be of interest to the council. First, there will be a discussion of the development of the Regional Safety Action Plan. So that's Target Zero or Vision Zero. And as the council knows, you have identified that as a priority, and there's a planning process currently underway in the county that's funded in part by a grant from PSRC under this program. So that will be discussed. The regional plan development will be discussed. The second item that will be discussed is the update to the regional transportation plan, specifically the financial strategy. So as members, I believe, are aware, periodically the regional transportation plan that is managed through PSRC is updated. This is a significant planning document for the region that PSRC is currently in an update process that's expected to be completed by the year 2026. And so this is the financial strategy component of that planning process that'll be discussed. So those are the items that I have for the PSRC for this week, council members.
All right. Any questions? Any other report-ins on any other boards or commissions? I'll start with Councilmember Hitchen.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Now it's no light, so I'll just assume it's working. Crystal Judson Family Justice Center, I'm sure it will come out in our family, but just a reminder that 1 month from tomorrow on July 12th, which is a Friday, they will be holding their annual barbecue in their parking lot. Time is 11:30 to 1. There are flyers outside both Chair Campbell and my office. And then again, they usually put it out through the Our Family, but the foundation portion of the Crystal Judson Family Justice Center does a lot of good work and helps with some of those things that county government just can't do due to legal things, but are so desperately needed by people fleeing domestic violence. The second part is at the health department meeting last week. We approved a contract. So many of you know, were aware or might have been aware that we had been keeping Dr. Chen on contract as we were moving through this transition of the new health director and the new health officer and how that all worked because of some delays. They are allowing the first contract to come to an end and then doing a second contract, which truly is as needed. Again, Dr. Miller, who is taking on the health officer position, is new to Pierce County and the work that's going on here. And then our new health director, same thing. So there's that, he's been here so long. There's so much that's in his brain. They want to make sure, but instead of being a formal contract, it truly is as needed for special projects. And we approved that contract. So it was an up to amount. And I don't think it was in government numbers, not a lot, but my bank account, it sounded like a lot. So those are the two items that I have. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Morrell.
Thank you. The Puget Sound Regional Council Economic District met, and a lot of good discussion about what projects we were going to tackle this year. Some very interesting conversations from the Department of Commerce pertaining to the development of AI in Washington State and the need for microprocessing facilities within the state. At some point, maybe I might ask or make a request of Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee to actually bring this individual into a meeting because he has very good knowledge of the Tacoma area and what is needed for the future economy in the Tacoma area. And I thought it was a great conversation that we had back and forth. So I'll be bringing that request forward. But they're finalizing some of the industrial lands update that they've been going through an inventory for the last 6 years and updating it to find out really how much industrial commercial land we have left in the four counties. So that we should get a final version of that pretty quick, an updated final on that. So other than that, still moving forward on a lot of our housing plans. One of the things that Department of Commerce said that even if they land a major developer of a silicone chip factory, we do not have the housing that it would take to staff up a facility like that, anywhere from 200 to 300 employees. So they are struggling also. Affordability has become a real issue in Seattle. They are now up with San Francisco as the most expensive housing in the nation. And that is starting to affect some of the draw for major technical companies to come into the area. So that was an interesting conversation also, but I think there again, there's always a silver lining out there somewhere. We just got to find it for Pierce County. The other thing that I would like to discuss is a great honor, and I appreciate the Puget Sound Regional Council's every year puts out Vision 2050 awards. This year we submitted on the locker program that this council agreed to put in motion. And Good Roots Northwest won the Vision 2050 Award from the Puget Sound Regional Council for working together. Josh Brown came down, he's the executive director, made the presentation on the Ording locker that we installed last Thursday, had the ribbon cutting. That is the third locker and final locker that this council has funded. It was a great day, great weather, great representation, and it was an honor to be able to get that award. Not too many nonprofits have ever won that award. So hats off to this council for seeing a project, believing in a project and funding a project that is so innovative as this locker program. And thanks to the staff at Good Roots Northwest for delivering. And so it was a good day, high fives all around. Congresswoman Schreier's folks were there and Congresswoman Strickland. They are also funding the locker program, and we will now be seeing it going out. The next locker to be installed is in Carbonado on the 15th of this month, followed by Wilkeson, and then we'll move into, and those are in Congresswoman Schreier's area, and then we'll move into Congresswoman Strickland's area. But great interest in the locker concept. And there again, I talk about innovation, but I also talk about how challenging it is for a government entity to invest in an unknown project. And because we are so risk avert at the county, which in some cases is good. But a lot of times I think it holds back innovation and creativity because of the unknown. But we know all breakthroughs come when you're pushed, challenged, and come up with innovative ideas to reinvent an industry or, make a change within a system. So there again, I appreciate, and I know most of you weren't here during the debate of the locker program. I know Councilmember Campbell was part of that discussion. And just there again, believing in having faith that it was going to work is much appreciated. Now we're several years into it, and it's just taking off. And nationally, Good Roots Northwest is getting calls from Florida, from the Midwest, to wanting to know how to implement this locker program. So thank you, and appreciate staff coming out. Lee Beth came out. She helped write the nomination language, and her and Judy Hurley, my staff, council aide, did a great job in writing it up. I was a little bit worried that the committee doing the evaluation on the wards would look at this like, what is this? And wouldn't get really what we're doing. But they got it and got it right. And I know Mr. Brown, when he came down, was just impressed. The people that turned out, a lot of the investors from the philanthropic industry were there. And so, like I say, it was a great day. and a great group to make this award presentation to. Thank you, Mr. Chair, rambling on.
Thank you very much for that. It was hard work back then. Not everyone on the council agreed we should be putting funding into basic food sustainability and food safety or food safety network and food banks. And so at that time, it would have been easy for us not to, given a lot surrounding. So thank you for your leadership on that. And it was a time when we really led with innovation and let's try fun, unique things. Not everything panned out, but then you got programs like this. And I encourage us to, in all of our funding, to have an element of innovation to allow programs. We can't always demand that someone have 3 to 5 years of proof of concept when really we just need to help them get that proof of concept out there. And then we can see where it can go from there. So encourage us to continue to programs like this. Would love to have someone from come in and talk about the economic development and business impacts of AI. Good and bad. I know I have asked the executive's office to come talk about what their AI strategy within the county is and where they where that'll integrate with our employees and how they do their jobs and how they do their support. I mean, we just saw, or many of you may have saw the article in the paper about the new trailers that are parked alongside the road that'll tell you if you're using your phone or your seatbelt's off and all that. That's AI in action right there. That is, it's scanning your car and identifying every violation that's happening. So we're definitely going to, as a council, need to make sure that we have strong policies around when and where AI will be deployed, anywhere from grants that we support to policies within HR, policing, potholes, all of it will be impacted. So Councilmember Hitchin, you had something to add?
I had a question for Councilmember Morel around the microprocessor question of housing and location. I feel like Tahale isn't completely built out and they also have an industrial area. It seems like a perfect fit. So I'm just curious as to why we would think Pierce County. I know affordability is the other part, but if Tahale has been part of the conversation.
Excellent question, and I appreciate you tracking on that because it was suggested. The same afternoon, we had a tour of the industrial property at Tahale. And so I gave Scott Jones the contact information because you're right. I mean, it would fit very well into their business model to have a facility like this, like a chip manufacturing or some AI production company in Tahale. So yes, I think it does make sense to have it in a planned community like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we know, do we know what wage they want to be paying? Because we can put it in Tahale, but can you put the manufacturing there, but if they're not paying a wage that allows anyone to buy a house there, have we created another issue? So we need to make sure we understand. They say they need more houses, but houses at what price point? And that depends on what wage they want to pay, because we could get them 300 more houses, but it's not, none of their employees are going to be able to afford it. Sorry. Good discussion today. But, go ahead.
To follow up on your conversation, there's a lot of USDA grants out right now for workplace housing, for workforce housing, also farm housing.
Mhm.
And so I've challenged a few, even Goodrich Northwest, to look at how we can use some of that hundreds of millions of dollars out there to do some workforce housing or some farm worker housing. I know Eastern Washington has done a little bit of it, but why can't we do it here in Western Washington? So I will continue to push that, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
We need to make sure we protect the significant farmlands to be able to have a reason for farm worker housing. Councilmember Denson.
Yes, definitely an interesting discussion, and I'm glad that you're encouraging groups to reach out to USDA. While we've got funds available, we want to make sure some of those are coming to Pierce County. I was curious when they talk about Pierce County not having enough housing or housing capacity, I think you said 200 to 300 units. Do they take into consideration that not all of their employees may be moving here, that we have people here now that maybe would like to work in Pierce County where they live and not commute to King County or Thurston? I'm just wondering how they, I mean, I guess it's all hypothetical. They don't know, but we do have good people here that are looking for jobs closer to home, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I misstated, but Department of Commerce didn't say Pierce County only. We said King County, Snohomish County. We all are suffering from not enough housing, worker housing. So, but there again, Pierce County is, has our own challenges with housing, but King and Snohomish have the same. So it wasn't, they were pointing a finger at Pierce County.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
thank you.
However, it did describe us. They may not have pointed their finger at us, but we do have that lack of workforce housing. So, all right. Any other questions on external boards and commissions or just anything else that people want to discuss? All right. And chair's topics, I don't have anything I don't think I have anything I want to add. Other business communications manager, PIO updates. Ryan, what do you have for us?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the council. Just a few quick updates today. So we're going to be updating some signage around the council office. Namely, when you come out of the elevators, how to get to the council chambers, because we have some people that struggle with that. And then we're going to have something up here in front that tells when appointees come in, if they show up late, like to come check in with us so we know they're here, so we don't run into the issues where we have appointees waiting until the end of a council meeting. So one way we're working to address that is with signage. I'm on the final updates of a budget presentation that will basically be just a blanket presentation for the council. Chair Mello is actually out giving that presentation today, and he's going to come back with some feedback on it and tweak it a little bit based on that. But it's like probably 95% there. So when you guys go out and give presentations, you'll have something you can use, and then we can tailor it to where you're at too. So if you're giving a presentation in, say, Sumner, we can talk about some things happening in Sumner too. So it's not like this presentation is not flexible. And then finally, there is one recognition in your Tuesday study session packet. We're recognizing Dan Hamilton. He's a deputy prosecuting attorney in the prosecuting attorney's office. We're going to be doing that recognition with the executive. He served Pierce County for 38 years in that office, and he'll be retiring on June 30th. So prosecuting attorney reached out to us and asked if we'd be willing to do that. And so that's in your packet for review. That's all I have, pending any questions.
We have one quick question. You talked about doing some of the signage or design around here. And I noticed that, at least as I recall, we may have one or two pieces of the county art collection on display anywhere in or around chambers or on our floor. You go on the executive floor, he's got many pieces of the Pierce County art collection. But we don't get any up here where we're very public facing. And I would hope that we can get some pieces of the public art collection hanging in the public areas, not just squirreled away in the back.
Yeah, we can certainly look into that. I do believe the council passed a resolution or ordinance about art displays last year. So I'll need to take a look at what goes into that.
Yeah, I think that was more specific, but yeah. Councilmember Denson.
Just a quick, oh. There we go. I know that you're working on ordering some, like a banner or something for us when we go out to community events. Could we get a status update on that?
Yeah, so we're looking at doing what I call a step and repeat. So it'll be a banner that we can bring out to our in districts, and it'll show the county logo and things like that. So it's a much more prominent display about where we're located. So it serves that purpose. But also there's a secondary purpose that we could use this for, and that's like when you're doing a video or you're giving an interview, we can have something as a background that you can do it from that kind of brands. This is the council. So we're working on that. I need to look into pricing and then give some quotes to the chief of staff. And then we'll move forward from there. But probably about maybe a month and a half out from being able to have something that we can have delivered here.
Is this something that we can take to community events where we have tables as well?
Yeah, you can use it for any of those purposes.
Okay, and then maybe a tablecloth would be nice, or, you know, because if we go to an event, it looks pretty unprofessional. We don't have a tablecloth. I
right.
know they're expensive, but if we had one that we could check out, we could all use it. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And you want the council logo on that, not the
Yes,
sewer
not
logo.
the sewer logo. And just so you know, because I learned about this after the fact, after the last event that John and I were at, I think it's Human Resources has like a Pierce County to-go box or something that, I don't even know what's in it, but at least it has some stuff in it that you can take with you to populate your table. So maybe we can curate something like that at some point.
Yeah, I could
You
certainly
want to
look
lead
into
the
that.
curation committee?
No.
Okay.
I'm the dog committee.
All right. Dog treats will be in the packet no matter
Yeah,
what.
we're
so
gonna
that
take care of the dog, the pets.
we're- All right. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Dominique? Councilmember Morrell.
Not pertaining to Brian, but I came across a Washington State Department of Commerce Clean Energy Grant. For their taking, they have approximately $34 million in a grant in it. And Mr. Taylor, I hope someone's working on this. I checked with our airport director and he had no clue on what, because part of this is directed towards aviation. And that's why I picked up on it. But I was just curious to see if anything's been done on this.
So, Councilmember Morrell, sorry. Thank you for sending that email to me, sent it to me earlier today. I will follow up with the department to find with their grant coordinator. They have a team. I think council's been briefed on this before. They put together a team, an action team to identify grants and pursue grants when appropriate. So I'll reach out to the individual that's kind of the lead for that team and see if they're tracking this particular one.
Okay. And I appreciate it because it closes this Friday, I think. And, you know, if on the CAP building, the Civil Air Patrol building, I mean, we could put solar on the roof, we can put electric charging stations, since we're doing the work anyway, as far as if they need projects. But I just think that there again, someone's gonna get the $34 million. And I'm hoping that our team is on top of this.
I'll also reach out to the Sustainable Resources manager as well, in addition to the grant contact. Okay,
Okay,
all right.
thank you for following up. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. With that, I don't see any more hands up. We have any more business? Seeing no more business before the committee, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.